Hi everybody, YouTube land in the world. Today I want to revisit a video that I tried to do yesterday, but it ended up kind of all over the place. So I took notes and we're gonna talk about it today. And that is motivation slash achieving your goals when life throws obstacles in your way. And this is especially relevant to those of us with chronic disease or chronic illness or chronic pain or any kind of disability, even anxiety and depression. I wanted to yesterday start a thing for Motivational Monday, and as I mentioned, the video turned out to be a complete ramble fest. So today I want to talk about it Tuesday and make this a thing every week, and hopefully next week we can pick up with this kind of, talking about steps in order to find your motivation and achieving your goals. And then on Tuesday we can talk about it. So that is what I'm going to start today. I feel like talking about motivation and achieving goals for your life that you've always wanted is especially difficult if you're like me. These are two things that I know personally that I can talk about quite well because I've been chronically ill my entire life and then became suddenly extremely chronically ill at a very young age in my early 20s. Those are kind of the two circumstances that I know the most about, and I know there are a ton of other circumstances that you might experience that aren't quite those circumstances, but that would, fit in the category of how do I find the motivation to achieve the goals that I want out of my life when I'm facing X obstacles. And that's basically kind of a series that I want to discuss, and we'll see how long it takes. This is not only for all of you, it is also for me because I know I need some help when it comes to, achieving certain things that I want in life in order to move on and achieve the greater things that I want out of life. So I am going to try to keep this as succinct as possible. Maybe a little bit difficult because it's a kind of arduous task, but we're going to try to keep this in small steps that are manageable and don't cause more anxiety or depression, and that actually help us to find motivation to achieve our goals. I just wanted to add as a quick side note, my channel name is Boonie Sensei. The obvious two reasons for that are, one, I'm a spoonie, obviously, and the spoonie video is coming, I promise. So all of you who don't really know what that means, I will be explaining that shortly. Second is that I'm obsessed, if you may not have already known, with all things Japanese. But in conjunction with that, I'm an absolute lover of learning, and I try always to learn as much as possible and to take that knowledge and help others who might not have access to the resources and support that I might have. And for me, a sensei or a true teacher is somebody who's always trying to learn more. So the goal of this channel is not only to help people out there, you guys, with your problems facing chronic illness or whatever it may be that you're facing, but to learn from you and to take that and help me, So it's kind of like opening a line of communication so that we can learn things from each other and help each other. Hopefully, I can get back on track next week with Motivational Monday, as I mentioned, and we can do these steps together on Monday, and then on Tuesday, talk about it Tuesday. We can all talk about our steps if you would like. If you don't, that's okay too. I'm going to talk about how it went for me on Tuesday, and we can just keep going week by week until we are actually seeing progress. Back to my main point, which is basically there's something in everybody's life that is what you really, really want out of your life. And that can be either a passion for something that drives you, or an actual physical goal, like I want a big house, or maybe I want to get married. I don't know. For me, it has always been something academic, like to go on to graduate school or medical school or something like that. I just wanted to say, having chronic illness and having chronic illness not only my whole life, but especially getting bad when I was quite young. I know how difficult and frustrating it can be, even just to think about whatever goal you have in mind that you want to accomplish in your life. Because when you are sick, or you have been sick for just years and years, you kind of like almost forget about the big goals and the big scope of life, because you're so consumed just with essentially trying to live and survive on a daily basis. And I know what that's like. Not only that, but I know it's difficult because not only do the symptoms of your disease make you feel awful, but I know the medications that you use to treat your disease often make you feel awful, if not worse. I know they do for me. You literally have no downtime, because all of your free time is spent going to and from doctors, giving yourself medications, giving yourself shots, infusions, going to the hospital, etc., etc., etc. I know, at least for me, when I get home from all of that, I literally kind of just crash, because it's so exhausting. It takes all of my spoons for the day and perhaps days afterwards. And that's basically my downtime, when I have, had 3 or 4 doctor's appointments in a couple of days, and I've had to do my weekly methotrexate, my weekly Hizentra subcutaneous immunoglobulin infusion, perhaps my every 4 weeks Remicade, and I just crash because I don't feel well. And it's really difficult to keep the big scope of life in mind when you're going through all of that. I am often just even too sick on my own to function for days, sometimes weeks, sometimes months at a time. So there's that, in conjunction with, the daily struggles we all go through. For me personally, I know it's really difficult, because I almost kind of forget what being healthy and living a normal life is even like, which is kind of sad. And I want to try to get myself out of that headspace and be in a more positive place where I can be, moving forward. And it doesn't really matter how slowly you're doing it, as long as you're, making some small steps towards achieving what you want to achieve. It really is kind of like a state of limbo. And honestly, you don't really know if things will get worse, or how bad they will get, or, possibly if they will ever even get better. So you just kind of have to teach yourself not to think about that all the time, not let that be the dominating thought that drives your life forward, because that's not good for you. That's not good for me. And basically, the only person that hurts is you and me. And we're trying to get better and, find some kind of success and happiness. And in order to do that, we have to put those thoughts aside. And to do that, we're going to break it down into tiny, manageable steps. And today, I want to talk about 3 steps that I think will help me and will help you, hopefully, to, start the process of achieving whatever you want to achieve in your life.